Hi there, I'm Amber Black and this is Keto by Volume. I don't know about you, but I'm starting to get used to this whole stay-at-home thing. I know it doesn't look like it, but trust me, I am. As I lean in to relaxing at home, I want a drink that's elegant, classy, and a dream to sip. This week, we're going to make an absolute classic and one of my favorite whiskey-based cocktails. Today, we'll be making an old-fashioned. The word cocktail was first documented in 1806. A cocktail was any drink that had water, sugar, spirits, and bitters in it, which is essentially what an old-fashioned is. However, for the first few years of its life, this cocktail was simply referred to as a whiskey cocktail. Originally, this drink was served up with no ice. It was actually a morning beverage. It was meant to be your morning eye-opener. Over time, it began to be spiked with liqueurs like absinthe and curacao. Old-time fans of the drink started crying out, saying, "We want an old-fashioned whiskey cocktail." It was James E. Pepper, a bartender and bourbon aristocrat, that created the modern version of this cocktail in 1880. Now, the drink is usually made with rye whiskey, but you can use bourbon if you'd like. We're going to do a bit of a throwback with our ingredients. Nowadays, many bartenders will use a sugar cube and a little bit of water to pulverize the cube into a syrup. Because Allulose doesn't come in cubes and I'm far too lazy to try to turn it into a cube, we're just going to use a ½ ounce of our simple syrup from last week. In addition, we'll need 1.5 ounces of whiskey. Rye is preferable, but bourbon can be used. You could use Irish whiskey if you really want to, but it will impact the taste. We'll use 2 dashes of bitters, ½ ounce of cold water, and a few cubes of ice. I personally don't like my drink watered down, and because this is a sipping drink, I'm going to use my whiskey stones. For garnish, we have a twist of orange and a raspberry. We'll need an old-fashioned glass, a bar spoon, a jigger, and a lighter. Just trust me on this one. So first of all, we're going to add our simple syrup. I'm going to use my jigger to measure out a ½ ounce of syrup. We'll pour that in. And then we're going to add our little bit of water. And 2 dashes of bitters. And a dash is just kind of tipping the bottle over and going, hey look, there's a dash. It's not a lot, it's a pretty small amount. So if you want a more mellow taste, you can add a little bit more water, but I don't like to have a super watered down drink, so we're just gonna go ahead and stir those together. So now we're gonna go ahead and we're just gonna take and put our whiskey in the glass now that everything's combined. And I'm gonna add our nice little whiskey stones here. And it looks like got room for about 2. Now, I bet you're wondering why we have a lighter in our tools. We're going to take our orange peel garnish and we're going to heat it with our lighter just slightly. So we're going to take it and just kind of run it on the peel, either side, just to kind of release those essential oils. And we're going to run it against the rim of our glass, and maybe just another one light for good luck. And we're going to place it on the inside. And you can go ahead and take a set of straws and just kind of push it down a little bit. And that will make the essential oils kind of come into the drink as well as on the rim so that you get that nice smell when you bring it close to your lips. And then we'll just drop a raspberry in there, wherever it wants to land. It doesn't really matter. And I'll kind of stick it down there a bit. And that's it. There's our old fashioned. This drink has minimal carbs. You would have to drink a ton of these to even hit 1 net carb. You may have a few more if you eat the raspberry, but this is a drink you can easily enjoy multiples of. There's about 100 calories in one old-fashioned minus the raspberry. And as always, we have our spiffily dressed normie this time to come take a taste and tell us what he thinks. Hey, Liam!
Hi, guys.
So we have an old-fashioned this week, and I know this usually isn't your kind of drink because there's not a lot of like sugars or
It's not as sweet.
it's not as sweet. Yeah, it's not as sweet. But there is sugar in it. Well, I mean, there's allulose in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead and take a taste and let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Actually, it's not bad.
You actually like it?
It's not bad.
Oh my God.
I've had the old fashions before, so I've had it with the actual sugar.
Yeah.
And what have you. And this is like dead on the same thing. So I don't think that there's any real difference. The orange definitely is coming out, so you get that very citrus.
Yeah, I definitely like mine with orange. Unfortunately, since, you know, being keto, we can't exactly muddle an orange into there, which some places do. Yeah. But that peel kind of, letting that essential oil comes out, kind of blends into the drink a little more. So you still get that orange flavor without all the carbs and the sugar.
Yeah,
which is nice. So on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you thinking? I know it's probably not that high up there, given your tastes, but
for me, you know, as far as for what I would drink on there, it's probably going to be down around the 5 or 6.
5 or 6.
And it's not because it's a bad drink at all. I don't like the bitter.
Yeah.
That's, you know, my big thing. As far as if you were to compare this to the non-keto version of this, you're going to probably be up there between the 8 and 10 because it's very close to being the exact same thing. You're not going to tell any difference, that's for sure.
Now, do you think the fact that we didn't have any maraschino cherries, which usually has a little bit of that juice that comes out in the drink, do you feel like it affected it a bit?
It could make it a little bit of a difference. I like the maraschino cherries. But you know, it adds a little bit of a different flavor to it. So
Yeah.
you're going to get a little bit of differences depending on what you're putting into it, whether it be the cherries, raspberries, or, you know, if you were to muddle the orange a little more on there, you're going to get more citrus and what have you. But pretty good. I'm actually surprised. I would actually drink it. It's not something that I would just dump down the drain.
Now, I know that you guys don't know Liam as well as I do, but this is a normie that loves things like Blue Hawaiians, like those sweet,
Blue
sugary
Hawaiians,
drinks.
Slow gin fizz,
Yeah.
mudslides.
Not things like this typically. So hearing that it's good enough that he wouldn't dump it down the drain is actually pretty high praise coming from Liam. And for the record, guys, you can make keto maraschino cherries. I know it sounds impossible because maraschino cherries are just packed full of like sugar and red food coloring.
Get marinated in sugar water.
Yeah, but you can actually make a maraschino cherries that are ketogenic. You have to be very careful with them. They're great for garnish. Don't eat a bunch of them. But you can actually make them slightly alcoholic too, so that when you put them in your drink, it's already got booze in it, which is not a bad deal, honestly. This raspberry is gonna suck up a little bit of the alcohol, but not nearly as much as like marinating cherries in alcohol will actually do.
Yep.
So we have a little bit of a palate difference. This is one of my favorites. I love old fashions. I think they have the perfect amount of sweet to bitter to straight up like whiskey flavor that really just kind of does it for me. But no, it's not everybody's cup of tea.
You're more of a bitter lover than I am. I like the sweet drinks.
Yeah.
Can't help it.
Yeah. Well, regardless of your flavor palette, thank you so much for trying it for us. You know, I appreciate your enthusiasm regardless.
I'm glad to help.
And well, I guess we'll see you again next week, huh?
As always.
Thanks, Liam.
Bye, guys.
Thank you for joining us on Keto by Volume. Let us know in the comments below how this drink goes for you, and if there's a cocktail you'd like to see us make as well. I'm always looking for new inspiration. And as always, drink responsibly, drink keto.